You doing anything for Mother's Day?
No, my mom's not here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she's a weekend thing.
Yeah, and she's not getting back till late because apparently storms are going to hit again later tonight. Yeah,
here?
Apparently, at the very least, she would have to go through them on her flight back from Atlanta. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it not till like later tonight? So I guess it's probably not going to hit us actually.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, she's not going to be back till later.
We're just getting
regardless.
Yeah, we're just getting some dessert or something. Work got in the way of us doing anything this morning or today, so I had to come here and record this.
And now this is getting in the way.
Getting in the way, but this is a lot more acceptable getting in the way because 1, it's like an hour and a half of my time. 2, it's much more fun to do, and 3, it's a lot less like condescending about it. Like work was real finger waving at us this week of we know it's outside your availability, but it's hey, listen, motherfucker. Just because it's outside of my availability doesn't mean I'm going to show up. You hear me? You hear me, motherfucker?
I guess they didn't.
What you going to do? Fire me? Who you going to replace me with?
Well, there's probably another person doing those DoorDash orders and accepting those DoorDash orders that's waiting to take your job. Never know.
Yeah, you think so?
Never know.
I don't think so. Anyways, Connor, let's go ahead and drop some sense on him, yeah?
Yeah, I guess.
So, welcome back. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Howdy.
And, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you every week, Monday, 8 a.m., youtube.com/2pennygamescast, or podcast service of your choosing. We're at least on the mainstream ones, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, yada, yada, yada. You can catch us 8 a.m. every Monday. And we come to you with the new video game news that you need to know. We come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and give you our 2 cents on them. This week, Connor, PlayStation fucked us.
Yeah.
They fucked us real big, buddy.
Mm-hmm. The moment we did the podcast last week, then this news broke the next following day.
It was literally like podcast went live. An hour later, you're sending me a screenshot of this news. So it's too big for us to ignore, but unfortunately, it's too old for us to put it in the headline of the video. So, PlayStation is partnering. Oh, this is my first penny, by the way. Mm-hmm. Don't know if you knew that, Connor.
I did.
You did?
They didn't.
They didn't.
No. How they do?
But you did?
I did.
Good
I
for
remember.
You. So this is PlayStation announcing a new partnership with Discord. Coming from the PlayStation blog, Jim Ryan writes, at PlayStation, we're constantly looking for new ways to enable players across the world to connect with one another, form new friendships and communities, and share fun experiences and lasting memories. It's in this spirit that we're excited to announce a new partnership with Discord, the communication service popularized by gamers and used by more than 140 million people every month around the world. Together, our teams are already hard at work connecting Discord with your social and gaming experience on PlayStation Network. Our goal is to bring the Discord and PlayStation experiences closer together on console and mobile starting early next year, allowing friends, groups, and communities to hang out, have fun, and communicate more easily while playing games together. To bring these experiences to life for our players, Sony Interactive Entertainment has made a minority investment as part of Discord's Series H round. From our very first conversation with co-founders Jason Citron and Stan Wisniewski, I was inspired by their lifelong love for gaming and our team's shared passion to help bring friends and communities together in new ways. Empowering players to create communities and enjoy shared gaming experiences is at the heart of what we do. So, we are beyond excited to start this journey with one of the world's most popular communication services. It's always a privilege to work with great partners to bring fresh experiences to our fans, and we'll have more to share in the coming months. Stay tuned to our channels and at Discord for all the latest updates. Okay, So this coming off the heels, was it last week?
It was last week. I remember
we talked about some Microsoft alleged deal falling through with Discord. Microsoft trying to purchase Discord saying, "Nah, we're cool, bro." Mm-hmm. So instead, PlayStation coming in and saying, "Hey, we're just gonna put a minority investment here. Just gonna put a little bit of change in your pocket.
Yeah,
we're gonna drop a couple pennies in your pocket, and then you put our app on a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. You know? Which and this is good because there could be some issues that
PlayStation
come about.
pennies for a PlayStation app. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Discord kind of should be on PlayStation. PlayStation has the
Discord
party
should
chat
be on
feature.
everything.
Yeah, it should be on everything, but it especially needed to be on PlayStation because, they work already with Xbox to have Discord kind of on Xbox.
Do they?
Yeah, they have like I don't think it works the same exact way it does on something like PC, but they have some sort of deal going on. I don't know the specifics. This is, more substantial than that. But I was iffy on them being bought out by someone like Microsoft. And, obviously we still floated the idea of them potentially still trying to be bought out by somebody, just maybe not Microsoft. Or, as you said before, they may have been trying to sweeten the deal by saying, we this isn't enough money for us. This is probably not the best thing we should do. But this is a lot more ideal for my taste. Partnerships don't really have any negative downside, at least not one that I can think of right off the bat. It just seems like positives.
The worst thing that comes out of this is a bad app.
Yeah.
Is a bad PlayStation app. In which case the public kind of points and laughs at, and then we forget about.
Yeah.
And we go on with our daily lives. We might see more PlayStation integration in the reverse way, and we could see something come of it that way to where like it starts affecting like the Discord app, like the general Discord app, as opposed to like just on the PlayStation ecosystem. So that could happen, but since it's just a minority share, I don't think they're going to have enough, enough power behind them to be like, hey, do what we want, and Discord would be like, no.
Yeah, it already effectively works on PC and used by a lot of people there and on mobile. So I wouldn't see them needing to change up their entire app just to suit PlayStation's desires.
It also kind of makes sense because, anybody who's been paying attention to PlayStation, they changed how their chat parties worked a few months ago. To where it basically works like Discord now anyway. So to just be like, hey, we're just gonna like bring Discord over and they're literally be Discord, instead of imitating, we're just gonna be it.
Yeah.
So that's great, and then especially as we venture further into our crossplay endeavors as time goes on, I think it's gonna help a lot. It's gonna ease those growing pains a lot to just have a centralized app that everybody, no matter platform, can jump in on and talk with their friends and build communities and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And I know you and me have a Discord server that we're in with a lot of people that play games, and they play on PC. They sold their PlayStation 4s. So it'd be nice to have another way to talk to them when we're on PlayStation rather than just being cut off. Because so many times I'm like, well, I'm going to go play PlayStation. Bye. And then I just leave.
PlayStation's really in another room or something. Yeah,
I'm not going to hold my phone up to my ear while I'm playing PlayStation. So.
Well, you could just get a fucking headset and Bluetooth connect that shit.
But I already have the headset for the PlayStation.
Regardless, it's a hassle.
It's
just a hassle. Just easing those conveniences would be a lot easier.
It would.
So, but speaking of crossplay growing pains, Connor, what is Sony doing here?
Being shit on by Epic as they're trying to beat Apple.
So, it turns out Epic boss says Sony charges publishers a cross-play fee in certain circumstances. We're pulling a Eurogamer article by Wesley Yinpool. Epic boss Tim Sweeney has said Sony requires compensation from players for crossplay in certain circumstances. In explosive comments made during the opening day of the of the Epic versus Apple trial, Sweeney said Epic agreed to the fees in order to get crossplay going in Fortnite. Quote, in certain circumstances, Epic will have to pay additional revenue to Sony, Sweeney said, as reported by The Verge. Quote, if somebody were primarily playing on PlayStation, but paying on iPhone, then this might trigger compensation. The Verge also reports that Sony's policy stipulates publishers can't transfer virtual currency to or from PlayStation, and there must be a setting to disable all cross-platform interactions. The Verge also says Sweeney confirmed Sony is the only platform holder that requires this compensation for crossplay. Shocker. Eurogamer has asked Sony for comment. Sony only enabled crossplay on PlayStation 4 games back in September 2018 after enormous public pressure and negative press that had ramped up over the course of the year. The pressure had spiked with the launch of Battle Royale phenomenon Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch, and the revelation you weren't able to use your existing Fortnite account on Nintendo's console if you already had used it on PS4. Speaking on the issue, then PlayStation Worldwide Studios boss Sean Layden pointed... It's not called PlayStation Worldwide Studios anymore, and Sean Layden is no longer part of PlayStation anymore. Wow, the time really does change things, doesn't it? Then PlayStation Worldwide Studios boss Sean Layden pointed to technical, business, and consumer service issues the company had to sort out. Quote, "We know this is a want, this is a desire, and we want to be able to deliver that in the best way possible," he said. Now, enabling crossplay isn't just about flipping a switch, and there you go. It's a very multi-dimensional kind of attribute or feature. I don't know if the article goes on to talk about this, but the Rocket League devs over at Psyonix point blank said, yeah, it's literally just a point of flipping the switch. We could have it working within an hour.
Yeah.
Around the same time that this quote was made, that guy said that. Kind of attribute or feature. So, we had to look at it from a technical point of view. We have to work with our partners from a business point of view. We have to make sure that if we enable this, do we have the right customer service support? Do we have the right messaging out there? Do we have all these different things that you have to get in line? It's rather ordinal. They have to go in certain order to get them all set up. Okay, so in that perspective, all right, I kind of see what you're saying, Sean Layden. But I remember when you said this, it was bullshit then, it's bullshit now.
Yeah, this reads... I know we're not done reading the article.
Well, this is also a very old quote.
Yes, it is.
That quote is almost 3 years old.
But it does put into perspective that they kind of just probably lie to make things seem like it's not as easy as it is.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean, they're demanding a form of compensation.
Now, I'm not going to speak on things that I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm not a game dev. I'm not, a publisher. I don't know all the small, like, little devils in the detail things that goes on there. But when you're selling me some bullshit, bro, my nose knows better than my eyes, bro. Like, come on now.
I mean, those Rocket League comment is also very, very telling about how easy the situation actually is.
Well, in terms of, like, just getting crossplay to function and to work. I understand when he's talking about, like, we need customer service, like, things like that go into this, what the Epic boss is saying about, hey, like, if someone spends all their time on PlayStation but purchases things on their iPhone, money gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand that perspective, because PlayStation wants their money if you're playing on their platform.
Right, that makes sense. The only thing that I always keep thinking about is, well, someone like Xbox doesn't have an issue with cross-platforming, so they obviously have something figured out. Why can't you? You're Sony.
I would imagine the percent, like if we're looking at the percentages and the numbers of breakdowns and stuff, whatever you're playing on the most is probably where you're spending the money. Mm-hmm. So Xbox probably isn't worried about the 5 to 10% of gamers who play Fortnite and spend their money on the iPhone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Sony obviously is. Anyways, continuing. Emails released as part of the Epic versus Apple trial now reveal the internal business discussions that went on before Sony enabled crossplay. And this is that email now. We love working with PlayStation, and we want this to be a win-win. The longer this drags out, it will be less so. I can't think of a scenario where Epic doesn't get what we want. That possibility went out the door when Fortnite became the biggest game on PlayStation. Here is what I propose. 1. We give you the data you are asking for, plus the marketing data ask. 2. Epic deeply integrates Sony's esports API into Unreal Engine 4 as an engine-level feature. We market and advertise it as a first-class citizen of the engine, maybe E3 announced, and we support it in Fortnite. 3. We announce crossplay in conjunction with Sony. Epic goes out of its way to make Sony look like heroes. You get to pick the when/where/how. Jesus Christ. 4. Epic brands its E3 presence with PlayStation. We're planning a 100-player celebrity pro-am. What is that? Do you know what that is?
I do not, but I can find out.
Pro-am. I don't know what that means. With huge after party. Budgets I've seen are huge, and it will be the biggest event at E3. Maybe we'll announce all the celebs on stage. New partnership. 5. Epic's willing to explore more items. Maybe we commit to a game at the launch of your next VR platform. 6. PS Plus. They're just casually saying, hey, maybe we give you a free VR game. Jesus Christ. 6. PS Plus. Maybe we do something extra special for a month. Offer a unique character or something highly valuable to drive PS Plus adoption even more. 7. Epic extends the Sony company-wide UE4 license. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but your license to use UE4 Unreal Engine 4 expires in May 2019. That license has some of the best terms we've ever offered for Unreal Engine 4. Let's make this a huge win for us all. Epic's not changing its mind on the issue, so let's just agree on it now. This email sent by Epic making the case for Fortnite crossplay. All right, back to the article. A remarkable email conversation between Joe Kreiner, Epic's Vice President of Business Development, and Gio Corsi, Sony's then Senior Director of Developer Relations, reveals Epic's attempt to convince Sony to press the go button on crossplay. And then he goes further to break down that. But if we just keep scrolling, we get another thing where it says, it appears Sony did not agree at the time, however. And then Sony's response. Joe, thanks for the note. Sorry that you feel things are moving too slowly for Epic with PlayStation and crossplay platform play. I was under the impression that there was no movement with Microsoft on cross-platform. Has that changed? Also, as mobile is important to you, our tournament APIs are important to us. Thus the ask. I appreciate the points you've listed in the mail. There are a lot of great ideas in here for continued partnership. However, cross-platform play is not a slam dunk, no matter the size of the title. As you know, many companies are exploring this idea, and not a single one can explain how cross-console play improves the PlayStation business. Open to your thoughts if Epic has ideas on this since we all last talked. In the meantime, I will forward your mail to our executives, and we'll get their thoughts and responses ASAP. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Gio Corsi. And then there's some more information about cross-platform revenue shared by Sony and so forth. Let's see what this is. The Verge published a document revealing Sony's cross-platform revenue share, and it reveals how Sony works out how much to charge. The publisher pays Sony a royalty fee, quote, to offset the reduction in revenue, only if the proportion of PSN revenue share divided by PS4 gameplay share for a title is less than 85% in a given month. Word? Okay, anyways. Sony offers a calculation example. Let's say for the month, cross-platform revenue is $1 million. And of that PSN revenue was $900,000, 90% of revenue. If the PS4 gameplay share was 95%, then the publisher would pay Sony nothing. But if in the same month only $600,000 of the $1 million revenue was PSN revenue, so 60% of the revenue, and the PS4 gameplay share was still 95%, the publisher would have to pay Sony $52,500. The policy only kicks in if a game exceeds $500,000 in gross PSN revenue within a 12-month period. So smaller games potential avoid having to pay a fee. Okay? It's important to note this document is dated August 2019, so the detail of this policy may be outdated, but Sweeney's comments during the trial yesterday confirmed Sony still retains this policy, at least in principle, and is the only platform holder to do so. So, just to recap all of that in layman's terms, if the majority of people are playing on PlayStation and using crossplay, but the revenue is not ridiculously owned by PlayStation, 85% plus of the revenue has to be made if the majority of players are on PlayStation. Then the platform holder has to, the developer has to pay Sony, the platform owner, a fee to counteract that revenue balance.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess they just want to protect their profits or make as much money as possible.
I guess, but what was it within a year? It was $500,000 in gross PSN revenue within a 12-month period. So within a year, if you don't make $500,000, you don't have to worry about it. But $500,000 is a low bar to hit for a lot of these games that crossplay is relevant for.
Especially something like Fortnite, which is one of the biggest games out right now.
Fortnite, Rocket League, etc. You can bet your bottom dollar they have to pay these fees out the fucking ass, probably.
Yeah.
Now, there was an article last week that we thought about using as a story. Fortnite makes most of its money through PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think surprises anybody, especially since, Fortnite was taken off of the mobile stores. Excuse me. But it just feels so gross. Mm-hmm. It just feels so gross. Every part about it just feels so fucking gross, especially when you consider that, it is better for these communities in the long run if crossplay is enabled. That way, a bunch of people can play with their friends. They're staying in that ecosystem longer. They're spending more money in that ecosystem because they're not being burnt out, or they're not being driven to other games, or they're not saying, "All right, fuck you, PlayStation. I'm gonna go get an Xbox and play with my friends." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these kind of deals go on all the time in the back rooms, but this lawsuit's brought a lot of them to light, which.
It's illuminating being able to see some of those emails and just how blunt and frank they are, and just how, all right, so, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's funny because, a couple months ago, when we were talking about the lawsuit being put forth, we had different takes on it. We didn't really root for either side because both of them are out for their own interests.
You're speaking the Epic versus Apple thing.
Epic versus Apple thing. And so we were, iffy on the whole thing. Who really cares?
Bet your ass. If Epic wins this lawsuit, which I don't think they will, you can bet your ass if they do, though, they're coming for Sony next.
It's funny because now all this is okay, well, it's gone beyond just
this is them setting precedent.
These two, yeah.
This is them setting precedent of hey, listen, this is fucked up. We talked about how it was fucked up in this court case, and people agreed with us. So let's get this fixed.
But at the same time, Epic Games might not be making the best connections with people like this, because the fact that this lawsuit is happening is what's allowing the public to see all this information. So they've,
Fortnite's only getting bigger, bro.
Yeah, I know.
It's only getting bigger. It's fascinating. But Connor, it's not where the Epic / PlayStation news ends this week. Jumping into your second penny. Did I do that right? I did. Okay.
Yeah.
Jumping into your second penny. Let's talk about Epic Games offering $200 million for PlayStation exclusives. Huh? What is this? Yeah. So, pulling a Video Games Chronicle article by Andy Robinson, Epic Games offered $200 million deal to Sony for up to 6 PC PlayStation ports. Epic Games offered a $200 million minimum guarantee to Sony for 4 to 6 PC PlayStation ports. That's according to a confidential PDF document including the ongoing Epic Apple trial, which was reportedly briefly uploaded to the case's public server and shared on Reset Era. According to the document, Epic Games was at one point targeting all 3 console platform holders for potential content deals for its PC games store. The documents state that Nintendo talks were essentially a non-starter, while opening discussions with Microsoft were complicated by the fact that it was essentially a competitor for content deals, and that its PC Game Pass leader was against Epic's strategy. On PlayStation, the doc states that Epic was awaiting feedback on its $200 million minimum guarantee offer for 4 to 6 games, which would see Epic take the hit should those titles generate less revenue than that figure. Since Sony's first PC port, Horizon Zero Dawn, debuted on Steam, and its next, Days Gone, is also coming to Valve's platform, it's possible the company did not take up Epic's offer. In a corporate report published last summer, Sony first said it would explore bringing more PlayStation exclusives to PC, following Horizon Zero Dawn's release on the platform. Then, earlier this year, SIE's president confirmed PlayStation will bring a whole slate of games to PC, starting with a Days Gone port set to release this month. Speaking to GQ, SIE boss Jim Ryan said that the opportunity to bring PlayStation's IP to wider audiences, as well as a easier port process, meant that making more games for PC was now, quote, a fairly straightforward decision for the company. Asked why SIE is now embracing PC, whereas before it was hesitant to bring its games to the platform, Ryan said, I think a few things have changed. We found ourselves now in early 2021 with our development studios and the games that they make in better shape than they've ever been before. Particularly from the latter half of the PS4 cycle to our studios made some wonderful, great games. There's an opportunity to expose those great games to a wider audience and recognize their games are too good and they make too much money. That's the answer. Anyways, and recognize the economics of game development, which are not always straightforward. The cost of making games goes up with each cycle, as the caliber of the IP has improved. Also, our ease of making it available to non-console owners has grown. So, it's a fairly straightforward decision for us to make. PlayStation had a strong start with its first modern PC release, with Horizon Zero Dawn selling 716,000 copies digitally during August's during its August release month, according to Nielsen's Super Data. Jesus Christ. According to another document released as part of the Epic Apple case, Epic Games spent nearly $12 million securing games for its regular free game giveaways during a 9-month period.
They're really trying to beef up that Epic Games Store.
They really are.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's kind of like they got Fortnite, obviously, but
Yeah.
people kind of just want to stick with Steam or go on GOG, and people are...
Well, I understand why they're trying to compete. And,
I get it.
And they are Steam's biggest competitor right now.
Mm-hmm. Not Origin, that's for sure.
Not Origin. That's, well, Origin's on death's door. How long do you think Origin got? I'm giving it 3 years.
Seems accurate.
It's got 3 years.
Yeah.
Anyways. So, I mean, it makes sense. Epic's been pulling exclusive deals left and right ever since they launched their Epic Game Store. And to reach out to, quite frankly, the company that's putting out the biggest hits, it makes complete sense. The biggest and best hits, it makes complete sense why they would say, hey, yo, give us some of those.
Yeah.
Like, let us go. Now, how old is this report? You know, how... is Sony still like actually on board with it, or do they, you know, are they? Was this before or after Horizon Zero Dawn? Is really my point. Coming to PC. If it's after Horizon, then you know that opportunity is still on the table. If it was before, the opportunity is still on the table, but it's a lot less likely. It's more likely that PlayStation said, "Nah, we're just going to do it ourselves."
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, we'll put it wherever we want to put it. And, you know, Epic Games spending nearly $12 million securing games, and then they're willing to put another $200 million up for PlayStation games? That's crazy. And, like, which games do you grab?
I mean, Final Fantasy VII could be a potential one. Remake.
Final Fantasy VII Remake's a timed exclusive, though. Now, granted, this last week, they upped it for another 6 months. Because they really want you to buy Final Fantasy VII Remake on a PlayStation console.
Demon Souls is another one I can think of because it has a big... The Souls community is big on PC.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for them to...
Demon Souls,
Bloodborne,
that would make... Is Bloodborne on PC?
No, it is not. Which is also Bloodborne. Bloodborne is one of the biggest games on PlayStation. So,
as of right now, we just have Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding, and then soon to be Days Gone.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, and then we're starting to do we go God of War route? Do we
God of War? Yeah.
Do we go Naughty Dog route? You know, we could get 6 Naughty Dog games up on that PC real quick. So yeah, this is really interesting. I don't know if it'll lead to anything. I think because we know about it, it's likely not going to lead to anything.
Yeah, it may have fallen through at this point.
However, it is really interesting to see that the talks had gotten furthest with Sony. Nintendo was just basically left them at the door and said no. Microsoft saying we're kind of doing our own thing over here, and that kind of leads like there's some conflicting messages here, so no. And then Sony saying, all right, well, how much you putting up?
Well, depends what you're giving us.
Yeah,
might think twice about that.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Connor, do you think it could lead to one day PlayStation exclusive titles coming day and date to PC?
Could potentially be the case. I could see what they might do is wait to see how it does on PlayStation before agreeing to do any port for Epic Games. Because, I mean, this story, the last story, the fact that Sony is a company, they're obviously out to make as much money as possible.
Well, all these companies are, but...
Yes, and they would make more of that money on something like their own PlayStation, wouldn't they? Because I don't know...
They wouldn't have to split the ends. It all goes to them. Yeah,
So, and more people would end up probably buying a lot of these PlayStation games on PlayStation.
You know, 750,000 copies sold on Steam for Horizon Zero Dawn in its first month. That's a solid little chunk of change.
And you are connecting to the PC audience, which already sometimes doesn't have that much connections with PlayStation. You know,
and not to say it's easy work, but, you know, even... Who was it? Was it Jim Ryan saying there? Let me find the quote. Yes, Jim Ryan saying, "Hey, it's just really easy now to move these games over to PC. It just doesn't take that much effort." Now, I'm not saying it's no effort and it's not, you know, hard work for somebody, but it doesn't require the amount of resources it used to, and they're probably looking at the numbers and going, Well, 750,000 copies sold in a month. That's not that bad. For the amount we had to put up. The future, endless possibilities for the future, Connor.
The possibilities do exist.
Especially when you consider MLB The Show is on Xbox Game Pass. How the fuck did that happen? That still blows my mind. Connor, let's move on to our final penny of the day. My second penny. Final topic. Let's talk about Yakuza.
Yakuza.
And it committing to its new route. So, pulling an article from IGN by Matt Kim, the Yakuza series will remain a turn-based RPG series going forward. Ryu Gotoku? Nope, that's really wrong. Gotaku? I'm gonna guess that. Studios has officially announced Lost Judgment today, a sequel to its action mystery 2018 title. For fans who miss action style Gotaku's fuck, man, help me out here, dude.
You're reading it.
I hate you. Gotaku's action style. Judgment will be the franchise that carries that torch as Yakuza transitions into a turn-based RPG. In an interview with IGN ahead of today's reveal, Yakuza creator
Toshiro Nagoshi
and producer
Toshihiro, my bad. Kazuki
Hosokawa confirmed that Judgment will be Ryuga Gotaku's action series pillar, while Yakuza evolves into a turn-based RPG after the success of Yakuza Like a Dragon. That's right, the two producers confirmed when asked if Judgment represents a continuation of the classic Yakuza style of gameplay, while Yakuza transitions into a turn-based RPG. Quote, the Yakuza series has been transformed into a turn-based RPG. On the other hand, over the years, Gotaku Studio has accumulated resources and know-how of making flashy and exhilarating action games that are effortless to enjoy. We decided that we should let our signature action gameplay live on through Lost Judgment. The Yakuza series, for most of its mainline incarnations, is a 3D action brawler starring Kazuma Kairu. When Kairu's story ended in Yakuza 6, a new protagonist, Ichiban Kasuga, stepped up and led the franchise in Yakuza Like a Dragon.
By the way,
I knew Ichiban's name better because I played the game.
In dub too.
Huh?
In English as well. Didn't you play it in English?
I did play it in English.
Yeah,
that's the first game to have it. It was the first game to have an English dub.
By the way, it's Kiryu.
Kiryu.
Kiryu. People are very passionate about that. So
I'm sure.
I had to correct that.
I'm sure. Homie was the main character for 7 games.
He was.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Unlike Yakuza 0 through 6, Like a Dragon was a turn-based RPG that still kept the over-the-top style of Yakuza. This winning combination earned Yakuza Like a Dragon a nomination in IGN. All right, IGN. We don't need you plugging your own shit. But for fans who still enjoy Ryuga Gotaku's action style, 2019's Judgment and the upcoming sequel will scratch that itch. Like the older Yakuza games, Judgment features 3D action combat where protagonist Yagami can switch between various martial arts style to deliver a hefty beatdown. And then we'll have more from Nagoshi and Hasakawa later today when a full interview goes up. Yada, yada, yada. So basically, the big news is that Yakuza is switching it up.
Yeah. Which, I mean, people liked the turn-based game of Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon's dope.
I bought the game and I still haven't played it.
Yeah, I know,
yeah,
Connor.
and people love it.
You're really bad about playing games that are relevant.
Well, it's not relevant anymore, so...
I'd say it's apparently more relevant than ever now because it's apparently how one of the biggest JRPG game series is going forward.
Fair enough, but I'm too busy playing, like, Blaze Blue. I'm trying to get good at that game.
What the fuck is that?
And the fighting game, and then Guilty Gear's coming to beta soon, and I can play that.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon, great game, really liked it. I didn't get as far into it as I wanted to because I got distracted, and then I just never doubled back. Like I should have, but now we're in the game season, so now I can't double back.
No.
So it's probably
come and gone.
Probably just gonna sit on my pile of shame forever now. But I really liked Like a Dragon. I tried Yakuza 0. And I liked what was there, but that type of gameplay just isn't for me. You got to be in a specific mood for that, and it's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not my thing. You would probably actually like those older
I know I
Yakuza
would.
games now that you're a fighting game guy.
I know I would, but the problem is there's so many of them, and
There's 6 of them.
Yeah, and they're long too.
Oh, they are long.
Yeah.
They are long. That's what people always say. The Yakuza games overstay their welcome.
Yeah.
Way too long. Way too
Well, I've heard they're just long. I've only heard people say, I get to see Kiryu more and Mishima.
They are long.
I think his name is
They are long.
Mishima.
So yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Connor, how do we feel about this?
I mean, we're not. You played Like a Dragon. You didn't play the old Yakuza games. I didn't play the old Yakuza games. So I haven't heard much from people who have played all the Yakuza games about how they feel about this. You know, obviously people liked Like a Dragon, but you know, as a mainstay aspect of the game going forward, I don't know how people are like cheering it on.
I'm sure some people are,
kind of iffy on it.
Pretty disappointed because there was a lot of people who were nervous about Like a Dragon. Were like, I don't know, man, this isn't the type of game y'all make, and I would really rather y'all just stick to the type. Because even though Yakuza games are all pretty much, copy and paste of each other, they're all pretty dang good quality. So how can you complain about that?
Mm-hmm. Which also goes into the whole thing of you did 7 games that all played the same way, or they had the same type of game. Then you got this new one that did good. Now it's trying to make the transition into a new style of game after 7 games have already been the same.
I mean,
way.
narratively, it makes sense with their
6 games.
transition into a new character as Ichiban is their main guy now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it makes sense narratively to like switch it up entirely, but and let's hope it pays off in the long run. I think it will. Like a Dragon was really good. Wasn't like innovative, but it was good.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, like the game that was a spin-off and someone just wanted to rip off Dragon Quest, and then they were like, let's just keep making these. So I hope, maybe one day, this Like a Dragon series is gonna be, worth it. You know? Maybe some turn-based RPG will advance, in a new and interesting way.
You do see less of those games comparative to things like the gameplay of Yakuza and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
You're either what, Persona or Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
And nothing else. Like no one else is really making turn-based RPGs like that anymore.
Mm-hmm. No.
Of any like serious consequence anymore. I mean, when's the last time Final Fantasy had that? 9?
Definitely 10. No, it was 10.
10 had the last one? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
no, 13 went back to it.
Did
I remember, because 12 went away from that. 13 went back to it.
Doesn't 7 Remake play like 13? Don't 13 and 15 play similar, don't they?
It plays... No, they do not.
Oh, okay.
15's they'll run around doing things. The way that 7 Remake works is kind of similar to a combination of 15 and 12. With you being able to pause things and say, I'm going to choose this spell and map out what you're going to do in those combats.
I like how that system works. That's a really good system.
I do too as well. Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts should adopt that system. After playing Kingdom Hearts, they should adopt that system.
I mean, it's going forward with the next games. Maybe.
We'll find out. But Connor, that's so long. That's so far away.
No, yeah, it is.
And Connor, we only care about what's now. So let's go ahead and talk about what we've been playing. Mm-hmm. Connor, have you been playing anything this week?
Nothing new.
Okay.
I
feel like you say that every week.
For the past couple weeks I have, because fighting games involve practice, Tavin.
Couple months you've been playing that. You've been saying that.
Involve practice.
Yeah.
Which I have.
I keep coming to you. I keep coming to you with these games. I keep saying, Connor, you need to play these games. These games are so for you.
Well, tell me, Tavin, can you perfect me in a fighting game?
No.
There you go.
I don't even know what that means.
That's the value of what I've been doing.
Oh.
But as far as a new game, quote unquote, once again, Black Ops went on sale. And I played a little bit of Zombies.
Oh my god! Can y'all get out your fucking nostalgia bags already?
Well, as long as the nostalgia bags are fun, then I'll keep playing them because it's zombies in Black Ops, which is fun. I'm playing that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but yeah.
I'm assuming you've had a little bit of something else to play other than.
Dude, I've been playing a lot of things. Well, I've been playing more Returnal.
Yes.
Most of my time has been spent with Returnal. I've completed the first run. Mm-hmm. I think. But the game's got a lot of layers, Connor. It's got a lot of layers.
Yeah.
I'll say some of the stuff I was saying last week I was wrong about. For example, the early boss fights, they're still there. They're just optional now.
Uh-huh.
But like, I swear to God, there were some runs where they didn't show up. Maybe I just didn't explore every route like I thought I did, or whatever. But, so I beat that first boss, and I went from struggling in the second biome to even just surviving in the second, like I was struggling just to survive, to like I just had one really good run and I made it all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And I left the planet, and then, things happened. No spoilers, but things happened.
Yeah. Well, you spoiled me.
I spoiled you.
Which is like, it's fine.
Well, yeah, you're not going to play this game for a while.
No.
Apparently, you're not going to play any new game ever.
No.
You're just going to keep playing the same 6 games again and again and again.
The Guilty Gear Strive beta is coming out. Again.
Didn't we already do that?
Oh, it's coming out again.
Oh.
They changed things. They changed a lot of things.
Okay. They went and tweaked some stuff.
It's coming out this Wednesday.
Anyways, Returnal far and ahead my game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And looking ahead, man, Ratchet and Clank better bring the fucking heat to surpass it. And it looks like it will, but it better bring the fucking heat to beat Returnal.
Mm-hmm. Well,
goddamn, I love Returnal right now.
The heat may have already been brought to some people with Resident Evil 8, which I know you had some
to some people it might. So I've been playing Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 8, if you will. And yeah, we can just go ahead. I'm going to just go ahead and here's my review for it. You know, I'll have it beat by next week. I'm 6 hours in. It's like 8 to 10 hours long. Which makes sense. That's an appropriate length for a Resident Evil title. For any horror game title. Alien Isolation should not be fucking like 13 hours or whatever the fuck it was. Anyways, yeah, so I've been playing Resident Evil Village. Now, this game is a 100% a follow-up to Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
In some ways I was not expecting.
Oh, okay.
I was expecting it to be more secluded than it is. So, like, even last week, I think you and I were talking about whether or not you were going to play it soon. Or,
which I am.
Yeah, which you are. But you were like, I want to beat 7 first. Yeah, you should beat 7 first.
Yeah.
I was shocked, like, just in the opening, like, 15 minutes, I was like, oh, we're a sequel. Oh, okay.
Dude, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous because it's happening again. What
Spoiler
always
circles?
happens to me.
You're in the spoilers?
I haven't been spoiled once, but
Yeah?
it's like you get the truth. Like it's saying you're going to get the truth of this plot point. I'm like, nope. Don't recommend me this channel. Don't recommend me this video. Don't recommend it. It's starting to happen, and I'm nervous. Twitter, I think I'll be fine with, but YouTube's freaking me out now.
I would be shocked if Twitter's going to be okay. Well, actually, Twitter will probably be okay because Twitter only cares about Lady Dimitrescu.
That is true. I've only seen stuff relating to her.
Getting into the full... Oh, dude, let me tell you what. There is a spoiler that happens in the first, 10 minutes of the game.
Oh, okay.
It happens. Anyways, so general impressions. I'll say my first impression, which so far you can still catch the VODs of my entire experience with Resident Evil Village so far because I've only been streaming this game as I've been playing it. I was not super high on it in the first hour or two. But as I keep going and as I get deeper into its systems and the deeper into the game I get, the more I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I am 2 bosses deep of the 4 to 5.
Okay.
The second one I wouldn't necessarily call a boss, but, it is kind of ish. And then this third boss I'm not excited to fight because it's one of these, spoilers. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as I get further into the game, the more and more I like it. At first, I was like, this is actually going to be on my lower end of the more recent Resident Evil games. Now, it's starting to compete with 7. And I might like it more than 7.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Village is in many ways a tale of 2 Resident Evils. It is doing things that I really love about Resident Evil as a franchise, and it's doing things that I'm not the biggest fan of, but other people are. Specifically, it's taking a lot of influence from Resident Evil 4. And just to be clear to everybody, I like Resident Evil 4, but it is in no way my favorite Resident Evil game. And Resident Evil 4, I think, is the catalyst for why Resident Evil took such a steep fall off of a cliff that it did with 5 and 6. Even though I also like 5. But that's beside the point.
Yeah. 5, more of a guilty pleasure than a good game.
Where 6 is just trash.
Yeah.
So, as someone who's played every mainline Resident Evil game in some form or another, the first 3 I've played the remakes of. And then I've played 4 on. This is a pretty solid Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
its influences from Resident Evil 4 do put me off sometimes, and it does feel like the pacing in the first few hours was my biggest complaint. Every 5 minutes, something happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the game could not stop and slow down. Once you get past that 2-hour-ish mark and you start getting into different environments and stuff, then the game, like, starts to breathe a little bit, but it never lets you breathe like Resident Evil 2 Remake does.
Yeah.
Where, the police department is like a whole environment that you search every nook and cranny, and you really, get invested in that atmosphere. And then that even continues through the sewers and through the laboratory at the end of that game. That never really happens here. It kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. It's always trying to get you to the next set piece.
Mm-hmm.
Always trying to get you to the next event. It's always trying to get you to the next scary moment or its next story moment or something. And the deeper I get into the game, it's being better about allowing me to actually live through these moments.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in those first 2 hours, it was like, Jesus Christ, can we slow down? You've thrown all these concepts at me really fast. Like, we were getting in the advertisements of lichens being in this game. And Lady Dimitrescu was clear, and her daughters are clearly vampires. They just throw that at you and say, you better fucking catch up. With other things. There are other things that this game introduces to the series as a whole. And all of it gets thrown at you in the first hour. And you're like, fucking, whoa, what is going on? We're getting deeper. They're starting to explain themselves. I'm starting to accept it more and more. And I'm starting to enjoy it for what they are. And see each enemy type as its own really cool mechanic. And that's what I want to speak on about this game. I liked Resident Evil 7 as a return to form for Resident Evil in the sense of my favorite part about Resident Evil was when it's at a location. I've said this many times on the podcast. The Spencer Mansion, the Raccoon City Police Department, the Baker Estate. Mm-hmm. I thought the Baker Estate was phenomenal. I love its layout. I love how it breathes. I love when you move from house to house in the Baker Estate, how each house has its own kind of vibe to it. Mm-hmm. Love it so much. But they all feel like they're part of the same estate. I love that. Resident Evil Village tries to do that. When moving, basically you have a series of bosses to go through. And each boss has their own location, and each location has its own vibe. Some I like more than others. I'll say exploring the village is my least favorite part of the game.
Really?
And I think this is in large part due to the map not being very good. The map does not clearly show you which paths are blocked off. It doesn't show you which paths are open to you. And I don't think it provides you enough detail for you to accurately figure out where you need to go and how to get there. And it turns into a lot of, okay, let me pull up my map. Okay, it looks like I have to take this left. Okay, now I went and took this left. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit, there's a truck in the way. I can't move that truck. I have to find a different way. Okay, how do I get through? Okay, it looks like maybe if I go through this building and do that, you end up pulling up your map every 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. It gets kind of annoying. That issue goes away entirely when I go to one of these boss locations. The castle, for example, which has been heavily advertised as Lady Dimitrescu's fortress.
Yeah.
I loved the castle. Loved every minute of it. All of it.
So you've gotten past it.
I have gotten past it.
I don't know what's beyond that.
Yeah. So that would be something that I find very interesting. Lady Dimitrescu is heavily advertised. She's like advertised as the big baddie. She's not the big baddie of this game.
Yeah, she's only in there for an hour. Is what I've
She's
heard.
only in there for a few hours. Mm-hmm. She's short, sweet is her presence in this game. So far, she's had the biggest presence of all the villains that I've been introduced to, with the exception of maybe one or two, who have kind of taken a back seat, and I assume will come back later in the game. And Lady Dimitrescu has the most character and personality of all of them, period. Mm-hmm. So it's clear that they knew what they had with this character, but the development of her character as they made this game clearly got away from them in the scope of the game they were trying to make.
Yeah, and then they marketed it because they saw how much people loved this character.
They knew this character was gold. Mm-hmm. They knew she was gold. So it's unfortunate that her presence in this game is so short.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Spoilers, but it's been out for a couple years. Resident Evil 7 with the little girl. It's kind of just comes in and interrupts the whole other members of the Baker's family, which I thought was kind of like, oh, well, she's kind of
But
boring.
if you remember, the guy who, the villain who was, or the antagonist who was advertised was Jack Baker.
Yes.
He was the guy, you know. Now, not nearly to the level Dimitrescu is here. And I think she's a way better character than he was, because she's got way more going on.
Yeah.
She's so tall. She's really tall.
I've seen.
She's intimidating.
Yeah.
She's bigger than Mr. X.
I know.
She's scary.
Big. She's tall.
Well, she's not scary, but it's like,
She didn't seem scary, but she's tall.
big lady.
Yeah.
Big lady. She got real sharp knife, like very like Edward Scissorhands, Freddy Krueger type shits.
Yeah,
she's smashing at you. It's a good time. Anyways, I want to talk about my favorite part of the game, and that is what I was saying in lead up to this game. The number of enemy types is awesome.
There's a lot.
You're coming across new enemy variants all the time, and all of them are great. And they'll go away for a little while, and then they'll come back, and you're like, oh, it's great to see these guys again. And then there'll be like a new version of that thing, and you're like, oh, they're evolving on it. They're not just swapping them out. There's multiple variants of every type.
That's good because, the gameplay of Resident Evil 7 wasn't the best. It was functional for how much it I'm not even done with the game yet, but so far, I could tell by the time I'm done with it, I'm not going to be like, oh, this is terrible. It could get that way if I did too much, time in the game. But those enemy types seems like they would really make it a lot more fun.
And that is the biggest flaw with Resident Evil 7 is that there's 2-3 types. There's the crawler, the standing one, and then there's I don't think you've even come across it yet, the bloater type.
Yeah,
you did come across the bloater type. So yeah, here there's tons of them. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of things that are coming after you in this game, and it's awesome. Every time it's awesome.
Good.
And when you're in one of these boss environments, the game is really good about building atmosphere. The second boss encounter is one of my favorite things to ever happen to Resident Evil ever.
Right.
I fucking adored it. And it was scary as shit.
Ah, okay.
Oh my god. I was playing at 2 p.m. on stream. I had sunlight coming in from my window, and I was damn near pissing myself. Oh my god, it was so good.
Is it a character we've had experience with?
No.
No, it's not. Okay.
No. But I'll say this. Very PT. Like Konami should probably investigate maybe some lawsuits. Because very PT.
Nice.
So yeah. I am enjoying the gameplay in this game much more than I enjoy 7's. Mm-hmm. The shooting is better. They're doing the Resident Evil 4 thing where you go to the merchant and you upgrade your weapons, and you've got a large variety of weapons with different stats on them.
Yeah, people seem to love that character.
I enjoy him fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm enjoying him as he exists as a wink and a nod to the merchant from 4.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also like one of our big exposition deliver guys.
Because he kind of is neutral character in all this.
Yeah, he's just kind of hanging out. So he's giving you a lot of information. And as the story twists and turns, the more I get into it, I'll say I don't know if it's the actor's fault or who's directing him, but Ethan Winters is a cartoon character.
Really?
He is ridiculous, dude. Everybody else surrounding him is fine. Ethan himself says the most outrageous and ridiculous things. His tone never matches the tone of what's happening around him. He's either always too much or not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And there's never any middle ground. And I feel like it's a direction error because when he delivers, if you just listen to the line itself, I believe what he's saying. But it's the line in context with everything else, you sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, not even in like a campy Leon Kennedy, where'd everybody go? Bingo? Like, that kind of added to the charm of Resident Evil 4.
And Leon as a character, because he's not grim and serious, which Ethan seems more grim and serious because of the situation.
Ethan's more of like, just like your everyday guy of like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this like, there are multiple times in this game where he goes, why is this happening again?
Uh-huh.
Like, what the fuck? I thought I was done with this. And he's just being forced through this
village.
This grueling adventure again that he doesn't want to go through. But it's just like, he can't decide if he's a badass. He can't decide if he's your everyman. He can't decide if he's a coward. He can't, it's just the most ridiculous fucking character I've ever seen in a Resident Evil game. And that should speak volumes because there's ridiculous fucking characters in this franchise. And it's purely just because he's so out of place.
Well, it just seems like it's a failure on characterization.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe this is because the foundation of Ethan Winters in 7 was pretty poor. But Ethan was supposed to he might as well have been a silent protagonist in 7. You know, he was supposed to be like, okay, let's put him in his shoe, like let's put the player in his shoes and you know, really get the player to quote unquote identify with him or whatever. Whereas now they're really trying to make him his own character, but they're still trying to make everything they did in 7 make sense for his character, which it doesn't. So the more he talks, the more I go, shut the fuck up. There are so many times you can catch me on screen. He'll say something and I'll just deadpan the camera. And I'll just look at my webcam and be like, really? He fucking just said that? Jesus Christ. Ridiculous. One of my biggest complaints about the game is the character of Ethan Winters. But yeah, I love all the weapons. I love how they feel. I'm playing on PS5 and the DualSense is doing some really cool stuff where, depending on what type of weapon you use, it'll be harder to pull back the trigger. So the starter pistol you get, you pull that back, no problem. Bam. I'm aiming, I'm shooting, I'm popping motherfuckers left and right.
Good.
The shotgun, a little more tension. They want you to make sure you're really using these shots wisely. I eventually have gotten like a sniper rifle and there's more weapons to come. That trigger pull takes some effort to get that trigger pull on the sniper rifle. So I'm really enjoying those. It's not nearly as creative as what they were doing in Returnal, but I wasn't expecting it to be. And it does take me out of the moment more times than Returnal does. Especially like when it's applied to a weapon that I don't think should be that tough. So the second pistol you get, it's just another pistol. It uses the same type of ammo as the starter pistol. But that one requires a little more pull on the left trigger to aim. Which is weird because it's a faster firing pistol.
It seems to me like you might want to disable those interactive triggers.
I'm enjoying it for the most part, and I want to as much as I can not disable adaptive triggers because I do believe in them. And you know, these devs they get all the numbers of who's turning them off and who's keeping them on and how much they're using it, and et cetera, et cetera. And I really like this is a really cool gimmick. This is a gimmick I would like to stick around. The problem is it just has to be used correctly.
Yeah.
Returnal uses it beautifully. This game uses it well, but it's not phenomenal.
Yeah. You can go without it. Whereas with Returnal, it seems like you kind of want that.
I could go without it, but I like that it's there.
Yeah.
You know? So there's that element to it. Other than that, this is classic Resident Evil game, true, you know, through and through.
Solid.
It pulls so much from Resident Evil 4, especially one of those first 2 hours. It does like one of its set piece things that is straight up Resident Evil 4. Like you'll do it and be like, "Am I just doing this?" And then it'll happen. You'll go, "Okay, yeah, this is just Resi 4. Okay, cool." And then you'll get to the castle and it'll be that more classic Resident Evil, find the keys, figure out do the puzzles and stuff. I'll say the puzzle's not phenomenal in this game. Pretty simple. For the most part.
Okay. Once I get hands-on experience with the game, I think that's kind of what I would prefer.
Yeah.
Not a big puzzle guy.
There was more in that second boss encounter environment that I was talking to that has been one of my favorite Resident Evil moments. That's when the puzzles, they really flexed and they were the most, like, you had to actually sit and think about it. But that fed into what they were doing. That was more of like a psychological horror thing, which is why I mentioned PT and stuff, and it's why it was my favorite part of the game so far. As opposed to just the balls to the wall action that the village is. I'll say Resident Evil 2 is still by far my favorite. Resident Evil 2 Remake is still by far my favorite Resident Evil game. And I don't see this one even getting close to it. But I do, there's a thing in that game where they really took the survival horror seriously. In terms of like, when you enter a new room and you see there's 2 zombies in that room, you can either A, eliminate those zombies, to make sure further trips in and out of that room are safer and easier to get through. You can B, but you spend resources eliminating those zombies. You can B, try and find your way around them, dodge them, hopefully not get bit, and have to spend resources on your health, but know that those so that that ammo you just saved can be used later on something more dangerous. But you run the risk of getting hurt and spending health resources. And every time you come back to those rooms, those zombies will still be there. Or C, try and find another way around entirely. There's none of that in this game to me. They give you plenty of ammo. to where I everywhere I go, I eliminate everything.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm doing. I'm going into a room. Oh, I've got 3 of this type of enemy that I could dodge it and just run past if I wanted to, but why would I want it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not hurting for ammo.
And it's more convenient for you to just kill them, so if you double back, it's not going to be that issue.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember someone on Twitter, I don't remember, I didn't, click on the video to see what the sounds were, but they were popping off shots for some reason at nothing. So that kind of gave me an indication of, well, maybe that's less of an issue, because I couldn't imagine doing that in Resident Evil 7.
I'm also not caring if I miss.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I go, fuck, I missed. But it's like in Resident Evil 2 and even in Resident Evil 7, if you miss, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that hurt, like, to your soul. You're like, God damn, like,
yeah.
I just missed 3 shots. Now I'm going to be fucked in the next room.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, I'm like, I missed 3 shots. I'll probably be fine.
Admittedly, that sounds better to me. You know, I'm not always the biggest fan of, ammo conservation.
I'll say they're keeping me low enough to where I'm like, I don't want to miss shots.
Yeah.
It's not like Call of Duty where I'm just spraying and praying and squeezing and cheesing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This game, I am like, okay, let me take my time. Let me try and get these headshots off. Let me really, pace out my shots the way I need to. But if I miss, I'm not deterred by missing. I'm not,
right.
It's never like oh no. It's always a, dang it.
Get the next one.
Like, there was literally a moment where I had an ammo drop of 30 pistol bullets.
Damn. Huh.
Now,
shit.
since then, I've spent all those 30 pistol bullets, and I'm currently, where I am in my save right now, I'm just running off of what's in my clip.
Oh, really?
And I'm just running clip to clip. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm perfect. But I'm not stopping. Mm-hmm. You understand? In Resident Evil 2, if you were down to your last clip, you would stop shooting.
Yeah.
Because you knew you needed those bullets for something coming up. In this game, I know I'm going to be fine. Mm-hmm. I know right before a big encounter room, they're going to give me another 30 bullets.
Yeah.
I know right after an encounter, they're going to give me another 15 bullets. It's just the way this game has taught me how to play. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Resident Evil Village, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. At first I was disappointed, but as I'm getting further into it, I'm enjoying it more and more.
Good.
So, that's about it. Good. That's what we've been playing.
I'll be happy. That's an exciting game for me to play. I played that before Returnal, based off what you said.
Really?
That's what I would like to play.
You would like Returnal more.
Guess I'll find out.
You would like Returnal more. I'm just saying that right now. You'll like Village. You'll like Village more than 7.
Mm-hmm. I've had some issues with 7.
I would be surprised if you liked it more than 2 Remake, but I also, I could see that being a possibility.
Yeah. I wasn't as crazy as 2 as you were. So
I think Resident Evil 2 Remake is one of the greatest survival horror video games ever made. And everybody should take notes, including Resident Evil. But that's beside the point. I am very interested to see what Resident Evil 4 Remake looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Scarier. I hope. God, I hope.
I mean, if that second boss is as scary as you say it is, and obviously they have the capabilities
to. Dude, that second boss is scary. Oh my god. Well, I'll say when it finally came down to the moment of okay, time to fight the boss, it had lost its fear. But the build to it was horrifying. And when you get to that moment, you'll know what I mean.
Just give me a look, just so you don't spoil it for anybody else. Is it the brother? Okay.
Anyways. Yeah, Resident Evil Village, great time. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your episode 42 of the 2 Penny Gamescast. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time. YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts. We're out here on those big platforms. Yeah. Come check us out. Leave us likes, hit the follow, hit the bells, comment, rate us if you're on the podcast apps. Get a, just whatever you can do to get that, what is it called? Interaction?
Yeah, interaction.
Click. Get all that up so that, hopefully we can land on somebody's radar. Mm-hmm. It's important to say, I should have said it at the beginning of the show, follow us, twitch.tv/2pennygames. This Tuesday, we are finishing hype, for, Have You Ever Played? For, Super Mario Sunshine. We started it this last week. I've been playing it for the first time. It's a fun game. Mm-hmm. Really good game. I'm really enjoying it. Having a great time.
It sounds like you may like it more than other people do, because that game's shit on a lot. More than I thought it would be.
It is because it's not 64 and it's not Galaxy or Odyssey. Mm-hmm. It is definitely the weakest of all of those 3D Mario games.
Still fun.
It's still really fun. Mm-hmm. Still really fun. Next week, Connor, it's time. Mass Effect, baby. I'll be streaming Mass Effect all weekend. I'll be from the moment the game launches. I'll be doing it all day Friday. I'll be doing. I probably won't be doing it all day Saturday, but I'll probably get some in there, and then I'll be doing it again all day Sunday, with the exception of when we record this podcast, in which we will be giving our full review, and then I will cut out that review segment and put it up that night, probably 9 o'clock ish is what I'll shoot for. So please go listen to both the full podcast and the review segment. I'm very excited for Mass Effect. Follow me on twitch.tv/2pennygames so that you can see all of my reactions to all the changes that they've done to my baby Mass Effect 1. God, I love that game. And that week, so not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, which I believe is the 20th? Something like that. We will be playing Mass Effect 1 for hype. It'll be Phil's first time playing it. We'll get those live reactions. I'll be nerding out about everything they've changed. It'll be a good time. Connor, it's your duty, my friend. Friday and Saturday, and even Thursday night if you want to, play as much Mass Effect as you can, so that you can talk about it as much as I can on the review.
I'll play a little bit. I actually have been itching to get back on Mass Effect, so I'll enjoy myself.
This will be a great time.
Yeah.
Great time. So we're very excited about it. Please follow, stay tuned for those. Oh man, I can't wait. We're going big this next weekend for Mass Effect, baby.
You're ready for it.
We're going big, baby. Hopefully we'll go from 5 listeners to 10. Woo! Woo! Look at us. Anyways, until then, everybody, have a great rest of your week. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
See ya.